Chinese leader Xi Jinping held a video conference with the Kremlin's ruler, Vladimir Putin. The conversation took place on the eve of trilateral talks between Ukraine, the United States, and the Russian Federation, as well as shortly before the 4th anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Xi Jinping expressed support for the security consultations taking place in Abu Dhabi. According to Bloomberg, the Chinese leader stated that relations between Beijing and Moscow are developing in the right direction, but a long-term strategic plan is needed for further deepening. According to China Central Television, Xi Jinping also informed Vladimir Putin of Beijing's intention to open up its economy more actively. In turn, Vladimir Putin expressed high praise for the ongoing cooperation with China in the energy sector. According to him, energy trade is mutually beneficial and of a strategic nature.
The foreign policy connection between Moscow and Beijing remains an important stabilizing factor. We are ready to continue the closest coordination on global and regional affairs.
Yuri Ushakov, assistant to the president of the Russian Federation, reported that Vladimir Putin accepted Xi Jinping's invitation to visit China in the first half of this year. The talks between Putin and Xi were the first since the beginning of the year. A few days ago, a meeting was also held in Beijing between China's foreign minister and the secretary of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, Sergei Shoigu. The last time Putin and Xi Jinping met was in September of last year at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Beijing, as well as at a military parade dedicated to the anniversary of the end of World War II. Bloomberg notes that after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022 and the imposition of unprecedented Western sanctions, Moscow was forced to strengthen its trade ties with China. According to the agency, both leaders are seeking to present a united front in opposing the world order led by the United States. At the same time, Ukraine and European countries accuse Beijing of providing direct military assistance to Russia. China denies these accusations. Meanwhile, it has become known that the Chinese leader held a telephone conversation with US President Donald Trump.
Chinese leader Xi Jinping may have removed his top generals due to distrust and internal power struggles ahead of the party congress, according to US intelligence. The New York Times writes, analysts link the sweeping purges in China's top leadership to deep mistrust and fears of the PRC leader. The removal of one of his closest allies, General Zhang Yuxia, was an unexpected move that shocked the Chinese elite and drew close scrutiny in Washington. On January 24th, China's Ministry of Defense announced that General Zhang Yuxia and General Liu Zhenli are under investigation for serious violations. Zhang was considered a loyal ally of Xi Jinping and held significant authority within the military, which makes his removal particularly noteworthy. Since coming to power in 2012, Xi Jinping has systematically purged the ranks of the Chinese Communist Party and the military, but the current wave of purges is unprecedented. Almost all generals and admirals who led the theater commands at the beginning of 2023 have been dismissed or have disappeared from the public eye. At the same time, there is no clear evidence that the removed generals were preparing a political challenge. As German political scientist Marcel Dirsus explained, popular and effective generals in authoritarian systems automatically become a threat to the leader. Analysts paid particular attention to a Wall Street Journal publication which claimed that Chinese officers were allegedly informed about General Zhang's espionage on behalf of the United States. However, American officials stated that they have no confirmation of such accusations. Official Beijing insists that actions against the generals are part of an anti-corruption campaign. Liu Pengyu, a representative of the Chinese embassy in Washington, stated that the investigation demonstrates zero tolerance for corruption. At the same time, experts point out that the purges may be aimed not only at fighting corruption, but also at eliminating potential political rivals ahead of the 2027 Party Congress. Analysts also warn that a leadership vacuum in the military could affect China's military planning, particularly with regard to Taiwan.